So now I will hand over to our project leader, Julian, who offers some reflections on the successes of the project and outlooks to the future. And he will also pick up what we've just heard from Eckhard Werner.
Thank you. And I will try to be very brief. Do you now see anything? And do you see the right screen? Okay. Yeah, as I said, now my role is to provide a little conclusion and an outlook. And the conclusion, in my view, would be that what we heard on the outputs of the sub-projects, I guess from the project perspective, those are great news that, for instance, or in particular, the handbook is now published, and also the approaches developed in the chemical and process innovation sub-project are at least piloted. And Frank said that this is still going on, so please also approach him if you want to be part of this process. Yeah, I'm very happy that we have reached the state. In terms of the traceability subproject, we heard that the technical part is basically through, in the sense that we have reached a proof of concept. But what is more important is the rule book, and that is missing. And so I hope that many of you reinvestigate the chances that are linked to this process. And if you see the chances like we do, then you engage. And I want to stress at this point that to our knowledge, there's no research project or standardization project that has the same scope, which is to make sure that downstream users in the supply chain know which chemicals are part of their products, which in our view is really crucial when we think of the legislative agenda of the European Commission. And I want also to use this opportunity to mention the lost subproject. Some of you might have wondered what happened to harmonization of standards. We have also started this project in 2020, and we had some workshops, and we did a deficit analysis that everyone agrees there are so many standards in terms of leather production, and they are incoherent, and this causes stress and burden and confusion to everyone. So much for the agreement, but we could not agree in this in this group on a common goal. And therefore, there was a point where we did not focus on this process anymore. But what we have created in the other sub-projects, this is for me the start to be part of this transition. Yeah? And you have to pick it up, like as Jonas said, use it and work with it and share the ideas and further develop it. And you're always welcome to approach us at any time, because this is not yet the end of the story. And here I can relate to what Eckhard Werner just said, that it's now important also to be more concrete, more specific, what is actually more a sustainable leather chemistry, to provide a context for the application of the approaches that are developed in the project. And this is, let's say, the last output of this project where we are working on at the moment. We call it Guiding Principles for More Sustainable Leather Chemistry. For the German speakers among us, it's Leitbild. And it captures 5 years of project experience. It was created by industry partners together with research, and of course also with us, the team from the Darmstadt University. And these guiding principles, they refer to procedural aspects such as communication in supply chains, or communication towards consumers, or the product development process. And it also contains substantive elements, just like Eckhard Werner said, the cyclic risk assessment and the cyclic prioritization, which is crucial for companies to constantly call into question their operations and strategies. And this is all part of this of these guiding principles. And the current status is that we are in the finalization. It's basically finished, but as you can see, it's not there yet. So we are talking about a draft today. And the goal is, why we are doing this, we want to contribute to a level playing field, meaning at global scale. And it can be used as a mission statement for a company or for an association of many companies. And it can be a guidance for companies. You can use it as a benchmark to advance on business models, business operations, and strategies. And of course, it can also be a benchmark to advance standards. And this then relates to the lost sub-project on harmonization, because this could help to create more coherence if all standards were to contribute to those guiding principles. And in the project perspective, again, anything that contributes to those principles also helps us to work towards the fulfillment of our target scenario. And as I said, it is also like a framework to further develop and roll out the solutions that have been developed in the sub-projects. And the official launch will be soon. So please check our website. And but now I will ask another of our external partners, a very experienced researcher from the Öko-Institut in Freiburg, Dirk Bunke. And he worked on many projects with also with industry of different sectors. And Dirk, are you there? And are you willing to share with us how you see it, like the practical achievements of this project? If you're there, please go ahead.
Yes, Julian, thank you. For me, it was really an impressive experience. These 5 years of the project, I have learned a lot, not only about a fascinating material. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Not only about leather, this really fascinating materials, but also about the products which are around. And it started with some classical things like such a real shoe. And it also included elements, I'm a chemist, therefore I really enjoyed to find products like this, blocking for rain impregnation spray, which is free of PFCs. And finally, I realized that there are many products of this project which are now, let's say, more or less ready to use or ready to continue the work. And now I come to my 3 take-home messages. It is the end, more or less now, the end of a 5 years project. And at the same time, I think it is the chance to continue with several items which have developed here. For example, this process tool for developing process chemicals, or the traceability tool. And we should use the contexts which we have in this cooperation to continue on this. The second take-home message is we should not do this alone. And we have learned it is not easy to create enough of this momentum. And as soon as we link our activities to other activities which are present in this field, we have the chance to create more momentum and to see even more success. And the last thing is the thing with the winners, which we have seen from the competition. I think it is crucial that all these efforts have to be really awarded by society, by the consumers, and this needs to work together also with these actors. I think there are many chances, and it would be great if we can take them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dirk. And with this, I took over the moderation. Sorry, Desiree. I think we can come to the last questions and answers. We are only 5 minutes behind. I'm a bit surprised of ourselves. We have some questions already in the chat, and I guess we can answer a selection of them. Eleni, will you go ahead?
Yes, well, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
Can you first read out the questions?
Yeah, so one question was, where does the specific data come from to be inserted in the IT traceability tool for chemicals from the chemical manufacturer or by material safety data sheets, which does not give all information? And there was a second question, how do you deal with intellectual property and secrecy within the supply chain, as many formulation details are not openly communicated? So this is exactly what the leather sector has to decide on and discuss together with the brands and the chemical suppliers. So we need a dialogue to establish a governance framework. So why are chemicals not communicated, and what is the burden, and what can be done to solve it? So thinking of a long-term perspective, safety data sheets are not enough for a more sustainable chemistry. So because there are many limitations. One limitation is that they only show the substances and mixtures classified as hazardous, and this creates a gap with regard to supposedly non-hazardous substances that will be classified as hazardous properly in the future. So we had very intensive workshops, and we had full workshops with discussion and views on this topic, especially what needs to be inserted into the tool. And a summary of that workshop can be downloaded from our website with the different views and opinion. It's workshop 3 from July 2021. And yes, I mean, each supplier needs to enter his chemicals into the tool, and information can be hidden as confidential if this is desired and if this the governance framework says at the end. And also, but in the end, it's very important that a brand can search the tool for hazardous chemicals. And if the tool is not complete, filled in with the chemicals, so we have a problem. I think this answers the question so far.
Yes, I would say so. Thank you. And since there are no urgent questions in the chat, which really have to be answered for the whole audience, I think we end the conference.